Recording now.
Perfect.
All right. And Tanya, can you hear us?
I don't know if you can see me because I'm driving.
Not a problem. I just wanted to make sure we could hear you. Are you on a computer or are you on a phone?
Phone, because I'm driving.
Okay, that's what I need to figure out for Amanda. How are you able to talk? Because I know that's what she was having problems with, and I've never called it. I've always just done the video.
I just clicked on join meeting on your link, and then I had to download the app.
Okay.
Oh, so
okay, I gotcha. Yeah, she's having, for whatever reason, hers is like not downloading the app. She's been like waiting for it for like a half an hour, but no worries. She'll be able to at least call in, but with this recorded, it'll make it a little bit better too. All right, let me just make sure she's there. I guess we'll go ahead and get started. And sadly, Dan's not feeling well, so that's a good thing that we're recording it too, so that way he can later. He's got a migraine, so which suck. That's just like the worst.
I hear they're horrible.
I've had one ever, and it was the worst thing I could have ever experienced. They're not fun. But anyway.
I get them, I throw up.
What's that?
I throw up when I get them. And now my 3-year-old gets them like once every couple of weeks, and he throws up too when he gets them.
Oh, that's brutal. Yeah. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and get started. We should have all gotten through step 3 this week. I know, kind of looking back on it, sometimes it's a little challenging whenever you're step 2. It's not that it's a challenge, like it's a difficult assignment, but it's kind of funny when you have to actually like talk good about yourself to yourself.
That was my problem.
But the good thing about it is it really does help you to give yourself, because I mean, you're yourself, you are your worst enemy. So when you're able to finally overcome that and look at yourself, especially really when you look at yourself in the mirror and you go, I'm going to do awesome today because I'm awesome and I'm good because of this, and this, like it really just, it puts you in such a good mood. But it's so easy to look at yourself in the mirror and go, oh, I could be so much better about this, whether it's like an emotional state or a physical state, that's so much easier to do. But when you're able to overcome that and look at yourself as a better person, man, it's contagious to yourself. It's contagious to other people around you. And it just really does make for such a better day, day in and day out. But so I hope that you all were able to write some wonderful things about yourself. And I also just kind of wanted to, I know the video I posted this week about step 3, went over a couple of the things that stuck out to me personally, but what I kind of want to open up conversation about with us tonight is to talk about like the quote that starts off the foundation of abundance to step 3, which is by Oprah Winfrey, and that being, be thankful for what you have. You'll end up having more. If you concentrate on what you don't have, you will never, ever have enough. And it's, God, like that's such a powerful statement, and it kind of goes back to you having that mentality of looking at yourself and believing in yourself and believing that you are that better person, no matter who or what else tells you otherwise around you. But by knowing that you have the more capabilities to do that is where this kind of comes into play to me. So, with that said, rather than me just talking away, I'd rather hear from you guys and kind of get your input on how you feel, how much that touched you or hit home for you, or if there was something else about reading in on that 3rd step and what it did for you. So who wants to be the brave number 1 to open up the discussion?
I will, because I haven't gotten there yet.
Okay, perfect.
So, well, I only did step 1 because I didn't print it out Friday. And I didn't get in the group until Friday.
Not a problem. Hey, you got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah. But slowly and surely I will get there.
Cool. Okay. Well, how about this? Just so that you can put your 2 cents in to start us off. give us a little bit, since you weren't there with us last week, share with us, I guess, who you are, what you're about, why you decided to become a coach, and why you wanted to do this Live Your Best Year Ever program with us.
I guess I didn't really know what it was. But why I became a coach, because I'm into fitness and I love helping people. And I love people thanking me. Like, I don't know. Obviously, I like the feeling you know. Everybody who is a coach basically knows. I don't know. I want to make it full time eventually. And I don't know. What else do you want to know?
So that's awesome. So what do you do currently outside of being a Beachbody coach?
Serve and bartend.
Oh,
And
okay.
I'm sick of it. Do it forever. And school sucks because I'm not smart.
You are too.
It seems like it's so painful.
Sounds to me like those couple steps, looking at yourself and understanding how much
Yeah.
you realize might do some good for you.
Yes.
I don't know.
Well, no worries. You'll be good, because the first couple of steps aren't too terribly long, so it'll be good that you came in now, because you'll still be able to catch up. We purposely took these first couple of steps a little slow to make sure everyone would be on the right track. So don't worry about it, but make sure to just stay on track from here on out, and you'll be good to go.
I can't seem to find it at the moment, but there's a part that he talks about, when you start setting your big goals and looking what you want in life, that it must be at the beginning of 3, because it goes into gratitude, I think. But anyways, so you set all these goals and everything, and it basically shows you kind of what you don't have yet, and that can be like a bad thing at the same time. So making sure that you're setting these big goals, but being thankful for what you do have and moving forward. And I'm definitely guilty of having big goals and having big things I want, and I get frustrated, like if my car breaks and I'm tight on money for a little bit, or, like I don't want to be in that position anymore, but I need to embrace the process and know that I'm working towards that too. So
Awesome.
that stuck out to me of something that I do. So it's good to know, just to acknowledge it, because I didn't really realize I was doing it till I read that, letting it hinder me. So.
Gotcha. Good. That's awesome to acknowledge that. It's definitely a big barrier to overcome too, right? I mean, it's it's can be hard to. It's so hard to look at something and then. Oh, hello. It's so hard to notice the things that we're not great at, and to acknowledge that, recognize it, and then do something about it. It's so much easier to just be like, whatever, it's just, or it's easy to just say, like, here I am, like, trying to be somebody I'm not, and I'm not going to admit that I'm not good at this because I'm too good for that, so it's really good of you to be able to look at that and try to be better about something that so good. How about you, Courtney?
Oh, crap. I was just trying to think in my head, and now every time that someone talks, I'm like, crap. I actually went all the way, I think it's up to step 4.
Nice.
Like I'm up to, I think that's when it starts to tell you to make your goals no matter how outrageous they are or whatever. And then like afterwards you kind of go through. I haven't done it yet. I just got to that part. But I know it took me a couple of days I think it was step 2 when you have to like talk about yourself. Like you're good. You're like your talents or just stuff like that, and I'm just like, for real? It took me a couple of days. I'm like, I don't have no talent. What are you talking about? But I did finish it, and then I'm like, holy crap. Thinking about when it makes you go through like the last year, I'm like, well, I forgot about some of this stuff, and that took me a couple of days too to like go back, because I actually left spaces open for a couple of days, because I'm like, I don't know what I've done in a year that would like stand out in my mind, but it definitely opened my mind on myself a little bit more. And then I had to critique myself for that wheel or whatever, like the 1 through 5. And let me tell you, my wheel is pretty square. It's not round. It's very square. So I'm not rolling smoothly through anything. I'm kind of Flintstoning it. Let me tell you.
Well,
But
I would love to hear from you, and I'm sure the rest of the group would as well. Share us a couple of the things from step 3 that you jotted down that you realized were great attributes about yourself.
are you talking to me?
I am talking to you.
Well, actually, I don't even have my paper with me to tell you what I wrote down. But one of my attributes that that has had to kind of, or are you talking about an attribute or is like the skill, like a knowledge skill that I have grown?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Actually, I've had to in the last year to 2 years had to broaden my horizon. I have an older son that has a disability and was at a day treatment facility that they were not taking care of their students properly. And one of them was my son. So I had to kind of broaden my knowledge on laws and how to talk about individuals with disabilities and to be able to go to the state capitol to try and change laws for the states. And I actually participated in a governor's council, partners in policy making for people with disabilities. So that was one of those. And then another attribute was just to be able to become a better listener and to be more understanding and patient. Were a couple.
Wonderful. That sounds really good.
Yeah, I don't like talking about myself. Move on.
Good job. Little bits at a time.
Yeah, that was way too much in a little bit of time.
Well, here, I'm actually trying to look over mine to see if I've got a couple that I can share with you guys. I'll just go over it real quickly, but one of the, as far as like the most proud 3 accomplishments from the previous year was getting certified as a trainer, as a personal trainer, and becoming a Beachbody coach, and then celebrating a year anniversary with my now fiance, soon to be husband. And then I guess I'm trying to think of some things I need to do less of in the next year. One, and not to say that I'm like an alcoholic by any means, but I knew that drinking was one of those things that I needed to simmer down on. And particularly being football season. Jenna has a little bit about that. I just knew that, especially when it comes to Darren Hardy's program, God, he hits home on making sure that you realize that me having to look and go, you know what, I need to stop looking at as Monday through Friday are my days of business, and then the weekend is just like to look forward to and have fun and just splurge and do whatever. Well, a lot of times when you do that, Monday is like, okay, now I need to recuperate from my weekend, whether it's from drinking or just from having just, too much that you're doing over the weekend, that you're exhausted and this, that, and the other. So I started to realize I needed to stop that and realize that my weekends I can spend to be productive and successful. And the only way I'm going to be successful in the future is by dedicating a lot more of my time. And so what if that means working 7 days a week? If I'm enjoying it and if I have a passion for it and if I see the benefits that I'm reaping from that, then so be it. It's going to be worth it in the end. And it's that compound effect. That's one thing after the next that you just have to push. And I mean, yesterday, like this time last year, why I asked you guys about that earlier this week was like, where were you at this time last year? Is because I was that person going to tailgates at football games and partying like crazy. And I was responsible, yet I wasn't, because I was drinking the whole time and just having fun. And that's what fun was to me. But now looking back on that, I was wasting so many hours of my day doing that when I could have been, reading a personal development book or focusing on how to get my next week ready so that I could be that successful person, rather than being that typical average person complaining about what I wasn't getting paid and complaining about how terrible my life was and my job was, when in all actuality it was me that was doing that to myself. It was no one else. I was in I had the capabilities and the deciding factor at the end of the day to make what I wanted of my life. So now rather than last year on a Saturday going to a tailgate and wasting that day, yesterday I spent the entire day reaching out to one person after the next. Did I mention Beachbody? I would say about 30 to 40% of it was Beachbody. The rest of it was talking and just building relationships and just really tuning in with other people's lives. I never talked about myself. I constantly asked questions to them. How are you doing? How's life going? And clearly you're going to a lot of times get those real short answers. But as you just kind of just dive in and try to just get feedback from them, it starts to make them feel like you actually care about them, which not that you don't, but that's what opens up that relationship. And the more you do so, rather than you having to become that salesperson or begging them or trying to get them like so hard to understand where you're coming from a Beachbody standpoint and from a health and fitness standpoint, it becomes them reaching out to you because you've built that trust factor and that relationship with them. And then they start going, oh, well, I'm seeing all these posts about you, so you're doing all this stuff and you look so happy. What are you doing? That's what it's all about. And I can't explain to you how good it felt to just I had one personal message after the next of people just talking with me and reaching out to me, and it just felt amazing. And so I just really wanted to point that out to you guys, because I mean, literally did not stop yesterday all day. Now, was I watching football? Yes, I had it on TV, but I was doing it in a smarter, better way. And it just made it so much nicer to know that I was having that successful day. And it was a Saturday and I was working all day and I was okay with it. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. So,
that's awesome.
Jenna, do you have anything that you want to bring to the table?
I'm actually I'm on the same page as you, but like a half step behind you on the drinking thing, where it's like it's setting in now how much time, I think, obviously you need a balance in life, and you have to put extra time into this if you want to get what you want out of it. But I'm just seeing how much time I waste, especially just like the next day when I don't feel well, and then you're sleeping more, and then you don't feel like talking to people. Like that few hours snowballs into like 15 hours against you that I could have been, like you said, a lot more productive with my days. So I definitely want to work on that. I want to get better about, the biggest thing I always hear is like successful people having like a routine, I guess. So like I really want to start getting up at the same time every day, and that's something along with drinking that I keep saying I want to change, but I haven't changed. And I think that's I've been kind of on like this whirlwind of emotion, and I think that that's part of it, because I want a change, but I'm not doing it. Just like we get so frustrated when we talk to people about eating healthy and working out, where they want it, but they're not doing it. I'm doing the same thing, just on a different subject. So need to work on that. And then routine. Let's see. Next year, within the next year, I want a better system and an efficient system. I feel like I'm kind of scattered right now, trying to find a better way of connecting and meeting people. And I think I'm overthinking it. Like you said, you just need to message them and just start the relationships. But for some reason, I just feel like at a roadblock with my Facebook. So I think that's why I'm kind of exploring other options of how I can connect with people and offer value to them. So I just need to dial in on that and really start focusing on it. So this is, especially, I had worked through like step 6 before, and now like really going back through this and rereading, I'm like soaking up even more, and like I feel like I'm letting more walls down that I hadn't let down the first time that I went through this. So it's been good, but yeah, so that's where I'm at with that.
Well, no, I'm glad you pointed that out, Jenna, because I want everyone to understand that that's what, while yes, it may seem like, oh, I can go to the next step, I'm ready for it. And by no means, that's wonderful, and keep power at it and keep going at it. But at the same time, rereading, go back. If you've gone through, like Courtney, how you're at step 4, I think you're probably at step 5 by now, by the way you were saying some of the things that you were doing. Prior to doing that, go back and look at what you've done so far. Like there is no reason not to, because it's really like, I've even gone back like 2 or 3 times, and I'm like, the heck was I thinking? Or, oh, I could probably add something to this. Or, man, that goal was a little bit probably too much. I need to really analyze that, because there's so many things that we want to do. And while they're all wonderful, it's better to analyze better, like, how much can I do and how much is really going to be attainable. But with that said, the life assessment, I think, is one of the ones I went back on more than others. Just because it's that typical, like, scale of 1 to 5. How do you feel about this? How do you feel about that? And you go through it the first time, and then you start thinking of each little thing that's adding up. And when I started realizing, like, where the circle of life was actually, like, bringing me to, I was like, okay, my life is not that balanced. Like, I know that that's not the case. And so, like, going back, I actually, like, realized, okay, I was being a little too optimistic about this. And not that I didn't want to feel great about myself. I was like, okay, I know I'm not as good as I was saying here. So going back the second time around, I would myself, if that makes sense. So just think about that. You're only cheating yourself if you don't answer those questions properly. And it's only going to set you up better to work better as you begin this program and really dive into it. So those are kind of the things that I went through. So I'm just sharing this with you. Not everyone's going to be that exact same way. But that just tended to be what I found to be what worked for me. So now, yesterday I had mentioned on our group wall how planning the day before, like the night before, your next day, and scheduling it is what's going to make you most successful. I got that from Darren Hardy. That was one of the things that stuck out and that was very powerful to me. And I will say to you now, like, right before got ready for our call, that's what I did. My whole schedule is now planned out for the day tomorrow. Now, previous Sundays, did I do that? Here and there, but I can tell you now that looking back on the Mondays that I was very successful and stuck to a T to things I needed to get done, I only did great when I did plan my day. When I didn't, I could look back and go, okay, I clearly didn't plan that day ahead because I didn't get the things done that I wanted to get done. And one thing that really can help you is we tend to overestimate what we can do in one day and underestimate what we can do in many. So when you're able to schedule and put a plan of action together, you realize the amount of things, oh my gosh, this is way too much. This is impossible. I'm going to get this done. But if you don't write that down in your mind, you just think about it, and then you start stressing yourself out all day long because you're not getting the things done that you thought you could have gotten done. So by writing it down and realizing, like, okay, I need to spend this hour on this hour on that. Maybe I need to spend 2 hours on this, or like just 15 minutes on that, and just by really looking at it in that way, it'll help you to better plan out your day and your week and see what's going to be the most successful for you. And I'll end with this so that I don't want to overload you guys too much, but the last thing about when it comes to scheduling is, as you do go to prepare your plan of action for each day, put the top 3 priorities of what you absolutely, no questions asked, have got to get done for that day at the very top. Because that way, you have no idea how great the stress off your shoulders will come, and you just feel amazing. You already, by completing those top 3 most important things on your list, once that's done, and all the other things that are still important, they just weren't as important, feel so much more attainable and you feel so much more accomplished. So from a mentality standpoint, it just, you already have such a great, your focus is better. You have just happy thoughts, you're so positive going into everything else because you're not overloading your mind with stress. So I hope that can help. Those tips can help you as much as they have myself. And if anyone else has any input on little tips from their own personal development that have helped them from that state of mind, then we would love to hear from you. We're all looking to grow, each of us. So
that's really helpful, Jared. I needed that. And like you said, like, once in a while you do it and sometimes you don't. And yeah, I'm much more productive when I just do it. And even I feel like I'll just sleep better doing it the night before, let alone just trying to do it in the morning and deciding, like setting it out the day before. So I will definitely be doing that tonight.
Awesome. I hope everybody does. And it should take you no more than about 15 minutes. So I know it's 9 o'clock my time, 8 o'clock you guys. You should be able to wrap that up and get it done, and you'll get better sleep knowing you've got your day ready to go tomorrow. You know when you have to get up to get everything done, and it'll just help power through it. So if I think that should be it. I just really want you guys to do well with the Wheel of Life, and we're going to start getting into the nitty gritty. The grand design is also going to be something we do this week, which is huge. That's going to be when it's, I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat this, and I'm sure Jenna can back me up on this. It's going to get hard. Like, this is where it really starts to, you're going to start doubting yourself. You're going to start questioning everything you've done before, because you realize going into this, oh my gosh, like, I haven't done anything. What have I been doing with my life? That's what I started thinking to myself anyways. But to turn that around and go, awesome, now I'm recognizing it, and I'm at an age where I can turn this around and make a difference for myself, for my family, for my future, for my kids, like whatever it is. Give your why every time, and it'll help to continue your success and to not let this beat you down and to just lift you up. So
Cool. Yay.
Keep
Chuck along. And then my biggest thing is take the time. I feel like the first time I went through this, for some reason, I think I'm so excited to get to the end and start, like, get the full circle of where he's bringing us with this 8 steps, that I rushed a little bit. So yeah, like, just really taking the time, putting the effort in, and letting yourself feel a little uncomfortable, and, analyzing yourself, where you're at, what you've done, where you want to go, and just really dive into it. So I'm just love this book, and I'm excited.
And the cool thing too is heck, we're gonna all be at a point where everybody else in the world is gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna start on January 1 and I'm gonna accomplish my goals, and then come like mid-January, they've already fallen off that bandwagon. We are going to be so far from that, it's not even funny. So just let that be your push. Let yourself know that that's our little niche is gonna be way ahead of everybody else. So. Just keep pushing, and we'll all get there. Anybody have any questions?
No question. My brain is so overloaded. Like, I never in a million years, when my girlfriend was pushing me to do the speech body stuff, never did I think that I was going to be doing any of this stuff. I'm like, what the hell was I doing before I was doing this? I evidently had no purpose in life. I evidently had nothing to do. I'm just like, holy, pardon my language, but shit. What the hell? I wasn't doing a damn thing before.
Oh, I love it. That, you're finding a purpose with stuff too. That's cool. And I don't know who your friend is, but she should be a coach if she thinks you should be a coach too.
I'm trying to tell her that, but she's like, I don't know anybody here. I'm like, shut up. she I don't know if she would or not, because she's one of those that, like, she doesn't stick with much for very long. So like this is the longest I've gotten her to stick with anything. With her work, like trying to work out, and now she's doing like the Shalene Johnson 30-day push stuff. And,
see, she could totally develop into an awesome.
Yeah. Oh, I think she could, but I don't want to push her either to jump into it either.
Yeah.
I have like 4 people that want to do it, but I don't want to force them to do it until they're ready to do it.
Yep, and know too that I agree. There's a fine line where you don't want to push people, but also know that there's that line where they maybe just need a better understanding or a different way of looking at it, and with that, just taking that leap of faith with you and knowing that we have the trainings and the people to guide them through it. And it's not like they're signing like a 40-year contract. Like, they're just, if they want to dive in and give it a go. So yeah, just making sure you're, not letting it slide too much, but yeah.
Oh no, we talk about it quite a bit. Like, they'll ask about stuff, or like they've seen the videos, and some of them have already been to the open house thing. And like, I have one or possibly 2 for this coming up open house. But it's just one of those, like, they need to believe that they can do it first.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they don't know if they could do it.
Right. And
it's
I
like
think
you can do it, but you're not going to know if you don't try either. But I don't want to force them.
I was just going to say, give them that push to just take a leap of faith with you and be like, give me 6 months and dive into these trainings with me and just do it along with me. Be like, I didn't know. I'm sure you felt vulnerable. I felt vulnerable. Like when I really started doing it, that it's never going to feel perfect. So if it's something that's on your mind, and finding out really what they would want to take from coaching. I don't know if you have GoPro. Did I send you that?
Yeah. Oh, I got all kinds of books.
Yeah, he has a very good closing system, and it's kind of like, well, hypothetically speaking, what would you want from coaching? Where do you want to see yourself in 6 months? So you're helping them create that picture in their own head and a systematic way to close with them. So I definitely recommend if they're that close to take a look at that with GoPro and, kind of start applying some of that stuff to conversations. So, but that's exciting. All right. Well, anything else, ladies?
No.
Okay. All right, and guess what we're going to do tomorrow?
Huh.
Have an amazing day. You're going to wake up and you're going to tell yourself that today is a great day for success.
I love it. I'll make a video and post it.
Perfect.
And it'll be like of me talking to myself in the mirror. No, I'm just kidding. All right.
Well, have a great evening. Make sure you plan ahead for your day tomorrow and wake up and promise yourself that you're going to have a great day.
Yay. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye.